today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. If you guys think that it's possible to ever find somebody different in this life without changing you, and you think that people are going to change, you're sadly mistaken. What up, y'all? It's your boy Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. Let me first start off with apologizing for missing yesterday's episode. This is 2 Mondays in a row that I missed. Last week I was in Tampa. This week I was in Miami. But I just want to let you guys know that I'm still doing a 4-day episode. I'll be back Monday to Thursday. There's no more parties. There's no more events. There's no more business to handle. I'm back with a 4-day work week. Don't worry, I got you. Anyways, I got a big show that I got set up for y'all. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go. Let me explain to you why texting somebody else outside of your relationship and then hiding it from your partner is the exact same thing as cheating. Megan Thee Stallion's ex-boyfriend, Pardison Fontaine, sat down with Angela Yee on lip service, and he said this.
Because on the Cobra song, she talked about you, in the same bed that she sleeps in, right? So you said it wasn't there. So what did happen?
Did you cheat?
That's not what happened. Put it like that. That's not what happened at all. What's cheating? No.
Don't do that.
No. Please. Because,
Don't you do that.
No. Because I really need to go there. I really do.
Did you get your dick sucked by somebody else?
I'm not deflecting.
Did she catch you getting your dick sucked?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Did you have sex or you intimate with somebody else while y'all were in a relationship?
Absolutely not.
You're saying you didn't cheat?
Absolutely. But this is my thing, right?
Okay.
Is hiding text messages cheating from your partner? Is that cheating?
Well, what are these text messages?
Well, I feel
if it's something that you got to hide from your partner, is it cheating?
Right, and that's what I was going to say. I feel like anything, and I've answered this plenty of times, I feel like anything that you are doing that you would not do in front of your significant other, I feel like that's a form of cheating.
Or anything you don't want her doing.
Right. Whether it's emotionally, physically, intellectually, if it's something that you're not going to do right in front of your partner or something that you wouldn't accept your partner doing from you, then yes, that's cheating. That's just my thought.
So did you cheat?
In that regard, I say so. You know what I mean?
If you're texting somebody, if you're talking to somebody, if you're engaging in conversation with another person, and there's something in that conversation that you have to hide from your partner, that's cheating on them. That's the same thing to me as going out and dating somebody else, kissing somebody else, sleeping with somebody else, fooling around with somebody else. Like, when you're together in a partnership with somebody, when you're in a relationship with somebody, those things are off limit, in my opinion. And to go even further, I think it's actually, for me, more hurtful for you to be speaking and talking to somebody about your emotions and your feelings or what's going on in your day or a problem and not coming to me to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think Party was trying to hide the text messages. Well, it was one of two things. He was either trying to hide the text messages because they were of a sexual nature, or he was probably trying to hide the text message because he was getting emotional and he's getting into his feelings with somebody else, and that's why he had to hide it. It's one of those two things, and either of those two things is cheating. That's not what you're supposed to be doing in a relationship if the other person doesn't know. If the other person does know about it and it's aware, that's a version of a polyamorous relationship or an open relationship, and then that's fine. But if you're in a regular relationship and you are following the normal standards of we're in a committed relationship, nobody's cheating, nobody's going outside, we're not open, we're not poly, and you are texting somebody who's not your friend, somebody who you met somewhere, and you guys are talking about things that are going on in your life or goals or your dreams or whatever it could be that's outside of a potential business relationship, so much so that you got to hide it, you're cheating. This is just simply what it is. Like there's nothing else. And to go back to my first explanation of why that is cheating is because you're breaking the emotional bond. You're breaking the emotional bond, and that other person is not going to trust you. The other person is going to feel betrayed, and the other person is going to feel like this other person is giving you something that they can't give you. And I just want to make sure I'm saying that right. Sorry. The person who you're with is going to feel like the other person who you're texting is giving you something that they can't give you. And not only is that cheating, but that's what's hurtful to that other person. And that's when now the relationship starts breaking down, and there's no more trust, and then the person is going to get insecure, and the person is not going to feel good, and then everything starts breaking down from there. You could try to repair it, but so I don't know like why Meg said in the song that whatever, she caught him actually physically cheating, but now we're getting information from Party that's saying that he didn't do that. But let's not get caught up in that. Let's stick with the topic at hand. And the topic at hand is when you're in a relationship, a standard monogamous relationship, you cannot text and speak to anybody outside the relationship and think that just the text message is okay. Should you marry young or should you wait until you're older? Cardi B has announced once again that her and Offset are separated. She's single. They're going their separate ways. And it got me to thinking, why is Cardi B and Offset always breaking up? Why is there always problems in their relationship? It's because they got married way too young. Cardi B was 24 years old. Offset was 25 years old. And that's just way too young to get married. And that's way too young to have a serious relationship.
I've been single for a minute now, but I have been afraid to not afraid. I just don't know how to tell the world. But I feel like today has been like a sign. The last time I got on live, I kind of wanted you guys to tell you. I kind of wanted to tell you guys, but I didn't know how to tell you. So I was I changed my mind. But it has been like this for a minute now.
Let's take the fame and the money and the artistry away for a second and talk about relationships, and if it's better to live your 20s free and single and enjoying life, or should you stay single, date, and dedicate your time to somebody else in hopes that you get married and have a relationship. So with setting up the question, I think you could probably see where I'm going with this, is that if you ask me, your 20s is discovering yourself. You don't know, most of us at that age, we don't have our career yet. We don't know, we might know your direction in school, but you don't have your master's, or you don't have whatever, your PhD if you're in school, or maybe even your bachelor's. And I just think that your 20s need to be focused on you. And if you focus on a relationship, you cannot give that relationship the time and the dedication that it needs because you haven't spent the time on yourself. And I think that's why people that have that get married young or have a serious relationship young and then get married in their late 20s, I feel have a more problematic marriage than the people who maybe date and kind of are figuring themselves out in their 20s. You make your mistakes. You have a relationship. You're in a 4 or 5 year relationship with a guy or a girl. It didn't work out. You were a problem. They were a problem. You know what kind of guy you want. You know what kind of girl you want. You've made your mistakes, right? It's your bumps and bruises, right? It's the same reason why before you go out and get a job, people say, hey, we would like you to have 2 years experience in this field, or we'd like for you to have, 4 years experience doing this. That's what I think your 20s are for, is finding yourself out and getting into relationships and learning from those relationships. And then maybe in your late 20s, you find the person and then you get married, maybe in your early 30s or mid 30s. And I just think this younger kind of marriage thing maybe came from our parents and our parents' generation, because during those times, man, their life expectancy was 67 years old. Man, you retired at 65 and you were dead in 10 years. But nowadays, with a life expectancy growing, and I think in the next 10 years, it's probably going to take the biggest jump ever. We could live till over 100 years old. So if you think over 100 years old, you're going to get married at 25 years old. That means 75% of your life is spent with one person. You know, like I know some people are out there probably like, oh, that's so romantic. Oh, that's so beautiful. And yes, it is beautiful. But I think only a few people, I don't even want to try to put a number, but I think only a few people, especially men, can know themselves well enough at 18, 19, 20 years old for them to give themselves properly to a relationship in their 20s to have that storybook 75-year-old marriage, you know? And I don't know, as beautiful as it sounds, I still feel like it's a disservice to yourself because you're not giving yourself enough experience. And I think that's what life is about. Life is beautiful when you can experience things, whether they be good or bad, and you take more lessons from the bad, you know, than the good. So I don't know, man. Like I try not to stay around with the beautiful fairy tale stuff and try to live more in the real life. And I really believe that it's better for you to find yourself and who you are, and that takes time and those bumps and bruises, and then you get into a relationship, and then you have enough of you to give somebody else. Changing your bad dating habits are the only way to find a good relationship. Angel Doll posted this on her Twitter. Going into the new year having no relationships with these N-words is my biggest flex. I just went 1 year without having any sexual incidences. I'm leaving these rappers behind and only will date nice stand-up guys. It's hard breaking bad habits because I do have a type, but I want to break the cycle. I'm 27. I'm only dating to have kids and to get married. All that just texting, calling, and talking about nothing is dead. All that little boy energy I accepted is dead too. I want to level up in every way, starting with you, N-words. I want to be better. I'm going to get better. I have 0 guys on my roster. I'm picking peace and stepping up in my bougie girl era. Okay, when I read this, I was like, okay, I know this girl is in a bad place and she's trying so hard to level up, like she says. I think we've all maybe have been here before, but I just want to reiterate of like, you can't only write it, you can't only speak it, you can't only want it, you must do it. That's the trick. Like putting it out on Twitter, letting people know, affirming it, that's great. But you got to put it into action. And that's the hardest thing for people to do is actually changing our habits because we're so used to living a certain way. I've been there a million times, and I will admit, like, I even have a hard time. Like, I'm like, man, I'm tired of being single. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to talk to this girl. I'm going to cut this off. I'm not going to do this. And Friday comes along and you're like, shoot, it's 11 o'clock. Let me call this person. Let me call that person. You go out, you go to the club, you have a few drinks, and then you're right back where you started. But if you guys think that it's possible to ever find somebody different in this life without changing you, and you think that people are going to change, you're sadly mistaken. It always starts with the person. You cannot expect to find your type of guy that you like, but you just want to change, that you think you could change certain things about them. It's never going to work that way. You have to change yourself. You have to change your habits. You have to change the way you're living your life. You have to change your type if you have a type. And that's the only way that you're actually going to find true happiness. If you think like, I want to be with, a guy that has this, this, and this, and, it makes you unhappy, but you find it sexy, then it's never going to work out. You know what I'm saying? Like you're always going to get into a hurt relationship, whatever cycle that you've been in for your entire dating life. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason why you've been cheated on 2 or 3 times. There's a reason why you've been lied to 3 or 4 times, it's because of you. It's because of your bad habits and the things that you accept and the things that you think that you like. So you have to make the decision to say, you know what? No, I like a guy that's going to be honest. I like a guy that has a day job. I like a guy who's not a rapper. I like a guy who's not hustling. I like a guy who works at the bank Monday to Friday and brings home, a steady paycheck or a steady income, or that works on Wall Street, whatever it is. And guys, the other way around, like whatever girl it is that you choose, you got to really decide what you like, and you have to change those habits to meet that person, right? And when you change those habits and that person comes along, you got to notice that, hey, that person is here now because of the changes I made, right? And anyways, it's way harder said than done, because I myself get caught up in that same, dating cycle, and I kind of feel like I'm not necessarily around always the same girl, but I kind of feel like I have maybe the same kind of issues sometimes, except for a few little changes. But one of the hardest things to do is change yourself. But I just wanted to put it out there that you need to stop blaming your partner. You need to stop blaming the person that you're dating and start blaming you. Would you delete your social media for a healthy relationship? Okay, when I saw this, it got me to thinking. And then, before I even started thinking, I read the comments and people are like, if you have to delete your social media to have a happy relationship, you're not in a happy relationship. Yeah, duh, we get it. But I think the question digs a little bit deeper. And social media gives you access to a wider range of people than you normally would, or that you would have had before social media was around. And not only does it give you access, but it gives access people to you. It gives people access to you. So when I see this, I think about access and not the actual social media. And yes, I agree that, the relationship should be strong enough to withstand any access, but we're all humans, right? And if you're on social media and your partner's on social media and, their exes or people and this or whatever, and they have access to that person, listen, I don't care how strong a relationship is still a relationship, and every relationship has its flaws and has its weakness. So, I think if I were, take me out of this for a sec. Not take me out of it, but take me being a content creator. If I was just a normal person, not on social media, being a content creator, if I was in a serious relationship and I felt like, even though I was private and even though I was blocking people and whatever, I felt like if I was in a relationship and I was working hard on my relationship and it was a serious relationship, I think I would delete my social media if I felt like social media was causing a problem in my relationship. I know that's probably going to be a little bit controversial, but I think that at some point, social media can be detrimental because of access to people and just putting your life out there. And I feel like the less social media you have is a stronger bond and even not even just access, but just time. And I just think like social media could take you places and it's so fake. And there's a lot of it's just social media is not really a real place. Like social media is not reality. You know what I mean? So I just felt like if I had a relationship that I wanted to work through and I felt like, social media could be a distraction for myself or my partner, and it was taking up time or it was just creating, problems for no reason, I think I would look into cutting off some of my social media access, if not all of it. Again, if I wasn't using social media as a content creator, just want to reiterate and highlight that. But I don't know. I think that I think that social media could be really dangerous. And I think a lot of you out there would say no, that you wouldn't give it up. And I think that I think that it's a mistake. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Go to signupexpert.com/Trent. And then once you sign up for all betting apps and get all your bonuses and get all your rewards, go to your app store and download BetStamp and use promo code TOL.